it has the most vociferous and maniacal holding base that basically is unwilling to supply any as the price goes higher, right? It has that characteristic that as it goes up, people are convinced that it's actually demonstrating the validity of their arguments, and therefore
Mhm.
they're more willing to hold as it goes higher in price. That's just another way of saying it's highly inelastic in its construction, right? And when it goes down, people turn around and say the exact same thing. Oh, look, this is just proof. This is what it does, right? And it shows your emotional and mental character to be able to hold it through periods of time when it's falling in price, right? So it's an asset that appreciates when it goes up, and it tests your metal and makes you a stronger human being when it goes down, right? It's a man for all seasons. Perfect.
But just go again to the empirics around the geopolitical hedge. Like, how did it do in 2022?
Very poorly.
I think it
Very poor.
I think it was down.
Yeah, it's definitely down.
Part of the reason why I'm emphasizing this is that we owe it as respected commentators giving perspective on how financial assets work. We owe it to people to speak plainly and literally and truthfully about how things perform in different market environments, right? To recognize when there's uncertainty, but also to highlight when things are playing out in a certain way, because it is critical as fiduciaries, and I mean that sort of in a broad sense of fiduciaries, that we don't that we represent the reality to people, whether whether we like the reality or not, whether we're right or wrong on our trades, right? And so I think this is a good example where there is a lot of uncertainty, and where I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and frankly, there's a lot of misinformation, critically wrong misinformation in the market that's being presented to people, where we have a responsibility to be very clear about how things are working, and particularly when we see these stress tests, and to call balls and strikes, whether we like it or not, right? Whether it helps our pocketbook or not, call the balls and strikes on how, for instance, this asset is performing relative to the theses that exist. And I'm repeatedly seeing in these scenarios the theses being rejected by the empirical evidence. And so that's just the functional reality of the circumstance. I'm open-minded. I saw some indications that maybe it was trading with gold for a very short period of time earlier in the year. But, when we get these stress test cases, like we have to speak plainly about the realities.